hope I'm live. If I am, I'm just been playing about trying to get things working. Sorry about this. I'm late as well. It all looks to be okay. I'm not sure if there's lag or anything at the moment. I'm checking to see. Sorry about this. You know how it is. Been a bit of a mad rush to get everything set up. Let me just check. Sorry, everyone. Let's see. Is it working live or not? Oh god, weird advert pop up. Is there a lag? I'm hoping not. Oh well. I don't think the quality is best of quality. I'm going to apologise. The internet's actually really kind of good here. So I'm surprised if there's a bit of a lag on the, or bad quality on the stream, because I'm getting better here than I am back at home. So yeah, this is a early doors live, I'll say, at this stage. It is an early doors live, but it's not as early for me. It's 1:30 back in the UK right now, but for me, it's 7 o'clock here in Mumbai. And I'm going to drink some beers, obviously, from here in India. So the first one is, if the camera wants to focus there, Kingfisher Ultra, which is not something you can get in the UK. This is a 5% lager of theirs. They've got loads of different Kingfisher varieties over here. So I'm going to crack this one open while I hope that the system works or not. It says excellent connection, but my preview doesn't look excellent, is all I'm going to say. So here we go, the Kingfisher Ultra, which is just a version of their lagers. They do so many different Kingfisher beers out here. I'll just leave that. It's going to be in the camera. I'll leave it there. They do so many Kingfisher beers out here, honestly. The Indian market, particularly, they do a lot of higher ABV beers, I'll say. So definitely like they like their 6 to 8% lagers, malt liquors, as the Americans would say at that stage. Here we go. So Kingfisher Ultra. I've had this one before, but probably when I was last here, so about 3-4 years ago. It just smells like a Kingfisher lager, really, at this stage. What I've got is very standard and basic beers anyways today. I hope the audio is okay. I'm moving about this mic here off the camera, well, in front of the camera. I do have another backup mic in case this Blue Yeti is not working properly. I've actually had to build a computer while out here actually to do this, to do anything that I wanted. I don't think the laptop's powerful enough, so I've actually gone and built at that stage a mini PC in a sense. Wasn't easy to find the parts either out here. It's a bit difficult. Right, let's taste this beer. First beer of the day, and that was needed. Oh, that's nicely chilled. I've just literally picked this up from the shops and then brought them here. So at the moment, because it's been Diwali, I've only been in Mumbai really with family. So I haven't gone anywhere outside of Mumbai. The aim is I'm going to stay within the state, so I'm probably going to go over to Pune and try out all the brew taps over there, but I'm going to try and hit up a lot of the tap rooms here in Mumbai as well, so there's quite a few to get to. I was in one called Toit recently, and I was also in Brewdog Mumbai, and they're actually opening up another Brewdog here in a different part of Mumbai in, well, they said December. The manager that I was speaking to said December, so I think I'll probably pop by if it's opening up, and I need to get the little pin badges for Greg at that stage because he's collecting all those Brewdog badges. All right, first beer of the day. It's 7 o'clock. It's the sun's set. It gets dark here at 6 o'clock. I know 4 o'clock in the UK at the moment, but it's dark here already. It's going to go down really, really easy, only because I said it's first drink of the day. It's been a long day. It's been hot. It's been about 34 degrees Celsius, and now it's about 30. And I've turned off the aircon in here because I think it was messing with the mic, and I'm hoping the mic's okay. Let me know if the sound is terrible, if the audio stream is terrible. I can use my sort of backup mic in a sense. If I, as I said, I've built a brand new computer and I've downloaded the Blue Yeti mic software and it's changed entirely. So I couldn't get to the actual settings that I normally would pre-populate and use. So it's just been messing about, and that wasn't even the reason I was late. The reason I was late was stuck in traffic outside. I was still in a car at 6:30 out here, which is 1 o'clock UK time. But also the aim is, apart from hitting some of the brew taps here and trying out some of the different breweries, I've been to a few before anyways, and it's just to get to a few more. So I've got Independence, Brewbot, Toit, Doolally, Gateway, and I know there's another one that I'm missing, but I think there's about eight tap rooms out here where they're producing the actual beer. So Brewdog, they're not producing beer here, and Toit actually are not producing beer here. They're produced elsewhere and brought in here. So all the Brewdog beers are actually imported, and funnily enough, they're imported, and I would say the price is slightly cheaper than UK prices. So you go to a Brewdog in London, and it's cheaper to come out to Mumbai to get the same beer that's been brewed in Aberdeen and shipped all the way out here. Bit crazy at that stage. Actually, I just realised there's like Two Ducks Brewing or two down Brewing. There's loads, and they do home delivery as well. So some of them I'm probably going to get home delivery, but I'm also going to go visit the tap rooms. Why wouldn't I? I want to go visit all these tap rooms. I'd say this is definitely going down very quick and easy. It's Ultra. I don't know what the Ultra means, because I love this in India where they call this a mild beer. I don't know if this is even going to come up on the camera there. Oh dear. So this is probably not going to come up because my face. Nope. I'm trying to get the autofocus. Anyways, this is listed as a mild beer. Mild beer just means it's not the higher ABV ones. The higher ABV ones always sort of say 6 to 8. They don't actually tell you always what the percentage is. They just say no more than 8% ABV, which could mean they're 6, could mean 7, could mean anywhere really between 6 and 8. But this is just your classic like mainstream lager at this stage. It's 5%. It's clean, it's easy to drink, especially in hot weather. The hotter it is, I find the easier it is to just drink a lager. It just goes down so easy. Yeah, just goes down so easy. So I am, just say, I'm 5.5 hours ahead, based in Mumbai. I was trying to move the temple just over that shoulder. Everything's reversed, actually, yeah. Temple just behind me. So if anyone's asking, no, I'm not going to go up and touch them, whatever. That's religious behind me, but only place I can really record at the moment. Try and make sure I don't get photos or anything else in that shouldn't be, nor people that may be outside. So playing it careful here. First, try and live a stream, see how it comes out. I've recorded some videos actually of I went to the beer cafe out here, and I've recorded some videos of the beers that I had at the beer cafe, which I'm going to upload. They're very, very short, like 2-minute ones. So I'll get them uploaded. And then I went to, they've got the Irish House. Now, for an Irish House, I've said this every time I've come here. For an Irish House, they do not have Guinness. They don't have having any Irish beers at all. And worse still, when I visited, was they had a lovely range of beers on display there. They had quite a few from Beer 91, including their Malabar Stout. That was interesting trying. And they also had some more from some of the more local breweries, because Beer 91 is from Delhi and it's brought in here. So I was tempted, and I looked up and I asked the guy for it, and he said, oh, we don't have that, the Malabar Stout. I was like, okay then. And then he handed me a menu, and I looked at the menu and I pointed to something in the menu, and he was like, oh, sorry, we've only got these 3 on. And he pointed at literally the 3 mainstream beers of, he's got Kingfisher, Kingfisher Ultra, and Heineken. I was like, I think I'm good. I'll get a bottle instead. It's just like, why have all of that? Why give someone a menu? Just tell them that you haven't got it, and that'll be good by me. You're saying great audio and visual for India. That could mean nothing at that stage for me. Could mean compared to normal India. I am literally trying to get directions down that way. So window here, and then down that way. There's actually a busy main road where there's some roadworks going on at the moment. So there's always honking in India, anyways, on the roads. That's how you let know people that you're behind them or coming up, or they're turning into your lane. You just honk, say, "There I am." But it's worse here now because they're all just beeping, trying to squeeze into where 4 lanes become 2. So it's just manic, noisy out there until sort of it dies down. On a rush hour day, on a normal Monday to Friday, it's noisy when they're coming out in the evening, but otherwise it's quiet after that. So about 8 p.m. onwards, in about 45 minutes it'll be quiet. But it's a Saturday and people are just travelling like crazy to the shopping centres and the big shops nearby. So I'm thinking the traffic's going to be there. It's been there since the morning. It's going to be there all day. It's going to be crazy out there. Now, I didn't pick this up. I know I seen a comment before I came on. So Michael had asked, had you noticed, or has anyone noticed you can't get the new Pint of 2 beers on this subscription? I'm assuming you can't get the beers on subscription because they haven't actually launched the Pint of 2 for people to subscribe to. There is Pint of 2 beers on subscription because when I bought my Pint of 2, I signed up to the subscription to get them, but they're not going to release them, I'm guessing, until they've actually deployed the Pint of 2 out to people. And my understanding is that's end of November right now. They were saying second half of November. I'm assuming it's end of November. Let's see. Good morning, STD. For me, it's good evening. It is 7:15 out here in Mumbai, India. And for yourself, I'm guessing it's about 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. maybe even. It's probably 8 or 7 actually for you, thinking of it. And this is going down too easy, but thankfully the next 2 that I have are slightly higher in ABV, so let's see how they come out. But yeah, I was just saying some of my plans for what I'm looking to do in India with some of the videos I've got and just places that I've been. I am definitely wanting to head elsewhere, out of the state that I'm in. I want to try and head to another state. Don't want to head to Rajasthan, a dry state, I believe, so avoiding that. I'm not going dry states. No, thank you. I've been Goa previously, so it's nice down there. Beer's cheap anyways because they have a lower tax regime and a lot of beer is made out there as well. But I don't think I'm going to go Goa. I'm going to head north probably, especially as it's winter time, so it's cooler weather here, but not quite the cool I would expect in the UK. So right now it's about 30 in the room here. Outside, well, I turned the aircon off, so outside it's even cooler. India is ridiculous. What am I doing out here? I'm visiting family. I came, so I've come out for Diwali, and I don't know if you're picking up the honk in there. Came out for Diwali, and I am here till, well, I haven't booked a return flight yet. So officially my visa's till the 18th of Jan. So let's see. I've got to leave the country by the 18th. I'll make a decision, which has been annoying because it does mean the Pint of 2 is going to be delivered. I've set it to a friend's house address. The Pinter must be really concerned with me because I've got about 30 different addresses that I've sent things to on there. But yeah, the Pint of 2, I'm hoping it holds up. So I reckon based on their schedules, they'll deliver it in December, early December, and then I will get back early Jan and I will start brewing with it. Month delay, I know, but at least I can then see the problems people are having, or tips, I should say, that people are giving elsewhere that I can use on mine. You're getting snow right now. Oh dear. I would say even in the UK, there's not really any snow that's falling. It's quite mild in the UK at the moment, I understand. But snow-wise, it would tend to be up north and middle of December maybe, but more likely in Jan time it snows in Feb. But out here, if I want snow, I've got to head up to Kashmir. And I don't think I'm going to head that far north because although I'm out here, I am working as well. So I am logging in and doing some work. So it's not all holidays here constantly. I have, yeah, I'm working a certain number of hours, certain day, but it's UK hours. So like yesterday, I finished at 11 o'clock, which would be 4:30 UK time. So a bit annoying. No, that's what I'm saying. They haven't got the arse of me because I'm working. I am doing the work out here, mate. That's the worst part. So I'm working out here, and I'm not working full time. I'm using up my leave. So originally I was supposed to be off the whole of November, but I've sort of winged it with them. So in a sense, I'm not doing the whole of November. I'm splitting my leave through. So I'm actually like working only 3 days a week, meaning I'm getting 4-day weekends. Or if I time it right, I could get a 6-day weekend. So take Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and get a nice long 6-day weekend. And that's what I'm looking to do. And that's when I'm looking to head further north. Kashmir is disputed. So the idea is that obviously the Raj that was in there decided when they were splitting, when the British came in and just drew a fecking line and said, right, let's keep this away from Russia or Soviet Union. Kashmir, the Raj there wanted to join India, but obviously most of the population, I believe, was Muslim, and India, Pakistan went to war over it, but Pakistan then ceded some of that land to China. So obviously you've now got China, Pakistan, India in disputed lands, I would say. But I don't really want to get involved in that at that stage. No, I'm not visiting Kashmir though. But I hear the water, the teas, and because it's so close to the Himalayas, it's cleaner and cleaner air, better water. Although it's much colder as well because you're further north. Right, I'm actually gonna go and grab my second beer already. And my second beer is Budweiser Magnum, which I've had a few times, although I think I've had it before I was on Untapped and never checked it in. Obviously comes in a nice little gold can. They do the bottles as well, which is 660ml. I've bought cans today because I lost my bottle opener and I don't know where the hell it is. So I thought I'd better play safe rather than running around trying to find my bottle opener like a fool. So Budweiser Magnum. It's not your usual Budweiser. This is just made for the Indian market, so it's made out here in India. They make Budweiser out here as well, but this is the Magnum version. And this is 8%, or I should say not exceeding 8%. So this could be anywhere between 6 and 8, but I'm assuming they have pushed it towards the higher limit at that stage. This would be your STD, get your Magnums out. This would be a malt liquor, I believe, in America. I do like the gold label the gold can. It does look nice, especially with gold and black. Really goes nicely. Very Arabic as well, that style. They like their gold and black. You know, it's like Kingfisher, gold as well, just to get people's attention. Say, look, it's gold. This one, I do find it funny. I keep getting pop-ups on one of the apps that I've got. I've got an app for ordering beer online. I haven't done it yet. I can get the beers ordered. And it keeps popping up every day with different offers and suggestions. And it pops up today for the Magnum one, but made me laugh. It was like aged for 21 days. And I thought, that's 21 days? That's not quite aging. That's just lagering, isn't it? That's quick lagering. Normally, I'd think if you're going to lager it, you lager it for longer. So it's hops, rice, and barley malts. So it's still Budweiser, but 8%, up to 8% Budweiser, between 6 and 8. Let's get this open. I've had it a few times and had it recently as well, actually. I have a box of beer, but I haven't put it in the fridge, so, and I think they're all leather cans. Just be a second. There we go. And that is the Budweiser Magnum. Obviously, just pouring into the same glass. being lazy, as you would expect. Head's going to disappear really quickly just because it is a malt extract beer. Right, I'm going to be a second. As you can see, the head's already disappeared, and probably this glass isn't good for it. Be back in a sec. See if they do. Alright, so I know what this is going to be like. I've had it before. It's definitely like the strong lagers in the UK. Definitely like the Polish strong lagers in the UK, I should say. So it's not your... it's not your... I don't want to say tramp juice. It's not special brew. It's like the Polish ones that are much stronger, and it's got, because of it, it's got that sweetness, and I think it's a bit too sweet. That's the problem. They've got loads of extra sweetness in there. Oh wow. I just realised my hair's probably a mess because I had the mics on, testing the sound level. It's, again, it's one of those things where when you're in a warmer climate, it's so much easier to drink this beer because it's just warm outside. This is a nice chilled drink, and like any malt liquor, you need it chilled to enjoy it. And this chilled it's good. It's good. But there's a lot of sweetness to it. Definitely a lot of sweetness to it. I would say not too enjoyable. It's definitely drinkable. It's not the best out there. I'm going to actually try quite a few of these. So Kingfisher obviously has a big hold in the market, and they have, I think Kingfisher now comes under United Breweries, and they have like Kingfisher Storm, Kingfisher, they've got an 8% of the Ultra that I had, and they've got another 8% one as well, just Kingfisher Strong, I think it's called. So Storm, Strong and Ultra, they're all 8%. There's not going to be a head on this. The malt liquor ones just disappear. You can see carbonation rising up, but it's just not going to hold the head at all. It's just, I think it's too much sugar and too high ABV at that stage. I feel like I'm looking up here and here rather than the camera. I do apologise if it looks like my eyes are wandering. I am just reading things over here. Do they have weed in India? Well, you can get it, is all I'm going to say. I know you can get it, especially as I understand, and I could be totally wrong, corrected on this. I believe there's a festival anyways for the Hindus which involve a bit of the weed as well. So some people do get it and freeze it, because obviously it's easy to get that time and then hard to get outside of season. But yes, you can. One thing I learned today though, that I hadn't realised, because obviously it's been 3 years since I've been here, that you can't do shisha here. There used to be loads of shisha lounges where you'd be on top of, you know, a building on the roof area, open roof, because it's just so warm here. So you'd go in the early evening time as the sun's setting, and so you wouldn't have the sun beaming down on you, and it would still be hot, and you could just smoke shisha on the rooftops. But there was an incident where the building caught fire, and I think quite a few people died, and the Indian government, well, not Indian government, the local state government went and just outright banned shisha places. So just like that, it was like, bam, no more shisha. And they're quite good at just doing that, turning around going, oh, let's fix the problem, let's ban it. There you go. So it's all banned for shisha. I was hoping to enjoy some, especially, you know, in this weather, you sit outside, enjoy it. Oh, well, They don't, but doesn't mean I can't get like gammon. I could get gammon, or I could get fish. But I think I'm out here for Christmas. I definitely think I'm here for Christmas into New Year's, which I know may seem totally bizarre, but why not? Why not at this stage? Let's see if I can travel a bit, pick up some other areas. I'm still in discussion with work about those 3 days between Christmas and New Year's. I think they want me to work it, and I'm pushing to try and get that off, and at least get the 31st off. I can settle with having 25th, 26th off, which is Boxing Day in the UK, then working 27. No, because Christmas on the weekend it moves to Monday, Tuesday, and then taking 29th and 30th as work and the 31st off. I need the 31st off. Because if I'm working in India on UK hours, if I finish at 5 o'clock, it's an hour till midnight. How am I supposed to get drunk and enjoy myself then? What's that all about? I might potentially, depends what's happening. If some of the people I'm meeting up with want to go out, or whether the family wants to do anything, I might potentially do a live. Who knows? I could celebrate New Year's live here in India while it's still 31st for you guys back in the UK. Just a pre-warm up before everyone heads out to drink. My only concern is the UK looks to be doing okay on COVID rates. It's just getting back into the country. I'm hoping it all stays okay and there's no lockdown. If there's a lockdown, then I may not fly back to the UK. May end up having to fly elsewhere, because I'd rather not have a lockdown at that stage or be locked in. And I don't know if the Indian rate's going to go up, because obviously Diwali, people were mixing and all the rest, but let's see. I do find it funny here. So I've got the NHS COVID thing that I had to download because you need it. And even to enter like a shopping centre, they've got security guards on the front where I have to show them my NHS COVID certificates, in a sense, say I've had my vaccines. But they don't have a QR reader, so they sort of just need my ID. So I bring my driving licence because it's easier than a passport, and just show them my name, date of birth match, and it says the word COVID on there, and they're like, that's fine. Don't think they see many of those, because tourism is not permitted until the 15th of November in India. So if you were looking to visit as a tourist, you wouldn't get in here till the 15th. I got in via another route. I'll leave that there. I'm not going into that. But yeah, tourism visas don't open till the 15th. But I got a different visa. So I'm in the country legally, but I came in via a different method, let's just say. I'm concerned now. I only bought 3 beers. I've got a box of beers underneath the bed, actually, but they're not chilled. Let me just get them. See me. Reach under. Here we go. So these are some of the beers that I've got. Obviously, well, I have Hoegaarden. Yes, I do have Hoegaarden. This is brewed here though, so it's slightly different. But yeah, Hoegaarden nonetheless. I also have, picked up the wrong one, Amstel. So this is Amstel that's brewed here. But I do love that it says super premium strong beer, but this is only 5%. But this then should be along the lines of what you would get in Europe, and not the crappy 4.1% we get in the UK anyways. I also have what's called Ultra wheat beer, but this is by Kingfisher. So Kingfisher have a wheat beer that they've launched, again 5%, that one. Then we come on to 4 of the beers I've got via Bira. So we've got their classic Bira 91 white. Is that going to focus? There we go. Bira 91 white. This I think is 5%, or not exceeding 5%, so that could be 4%. Who knows? Then I've got, just trying to see, yeah, there's Summer Lager Blonde, which I think I've seen in the UK, maybe on Low Cost Beers. Low Cost Beer do quite a few of the Bira 91s out there, and they do sponsor the T20 cricket, don't they? So you sometimes get the beers coming out to the UK. I've also got Bira Gold Wheat Strong. Yes, so they do a wheat beer that I've had before, but I haven't had this one. And this is, again, up to 8%, so between 6 to 8% on the Gold Strong. And then lastly, one that I've not had either, Beer Boom. So if I roll it over, well, that looks like Woob, but Beer Boom, which again is a strong beer, not exceeding 8%. That's just how they say it. I don't know actually the percentages on these. I had a beer the other day where it actually said it was 7%, so it was in that market of 6 to 8. And they were honest and didn't say not exceeding 8, they actually gave the percentage, which is my only concern with India beers. In India, finding out the actual ABV of a beer is quite difficult at times when you're buying them in the cans. They don't really give you the ABV at all or tell you what it may be. They just give a range at that stage. But most of the microbreweries do. They give you an ABV. Still chilled, but it's warming up slightly, I'll tell you that. But then I've not got the aircon in here on. I'm concerned if I turn it on, let's do it. I hope it doesn't interfere with the mic. Let's turn it on really quickly. And I've only got the aircon on at 26, so that sort of shows you the temperature it is in this room at this stage. I hope that's not too noisy. No, it doesn't seem to be on the input audio for the mic. It doesn't seem to be hitting that at all, so that's all good by me. Hope I'm not missing any chat or anything. No, I've got it on live. Normally always do top and forget by mistake. But yeah, so I do like the can artwork on this. It is really nice. The bottle looks good as well, but the can just with the gold and black, the logo and the font writing, it looks really good. The one other good thing I do like about India and the beers and all the rest, they do it with all their products. They actually, there's two things. They actually say the date of manufacture, which is very rare in the UK. I know in the US it happens quite a lot that you pick up your beer and it says when it was made. In India, they don't have a best by date. They have actually a manufacture date, and that's they have on all their products. There's no best before end. There is always a manufacture date, and then the products will say roughly that it says best before 6 months from the date of manufacture on here. But we all know beer keeps longer than that. But it just means I think there's probably less waste, because in the UK people will pick up, I don't know, a yogurt and it will say, I don't know, let's say 12th of November, and they'll be like, oh, chuck that. And it's like, well, would you have ate that at 11 o'clock last night? And then suddenly you come to the next day at 11 a.m. and it's suddenly no good. I do like the idea of manufacturing date anyways on beers. I think a lot of beers should have that. It's especially with hoppy beers, because you're losing the flavour with the hops over time. And I know some of the craft breweries do list that. The other interesting thing, obviously, about Indian beers is that they have, in this state, a max retail price. So everything has a retail price stamped on it, and that's the max price it can be sold for. So I think obviously with pubs there's exemptions because it's a service. So you're not just buying it for that price, you're paying for the service as well. But the beer, and I don't know if this is going to come out at all, that is the label on the bottom. But this one says that max retail sale price is 195 rupees. And it's practically, £1 equals 100 rupees at this stage. Really good exchange rate. It's dropped as low as 75 before, but 100 to 103 is like the highest I've seen it. And so this can's £1.75. Not as cheap as some of your cheap drinks out in the UK, they're 8%, but you can't argue at that stage. £1.75, bargain. Which gets me thinking, I was a bit of an idiot really when I bought this. I need to look at my receipt, because when I bought this I ended up buying a canvas bag because they were freezing cold to hold in my hand. So I bought a canvas bag, and I think there was quite a markup on that. The canvas bag must have been probably like I think I bought the free beers, and from my reckoning, it came to about £9. But the free beers themselves comes to only about £4.50 to £5. So I paid £4 for it. Carrier bag in that sense. But I'm going to reuse it, so it's all good. When I pop to the local bottle shop or wherever, I'll be able to just bring that with me and chuck it in, because I'm not carrying a backpack with me all the time. I have a sweaty back at that stage. Yeah, that's. Do you know what? The more I get into it, the more I like it. A bit concerning that it doesn't feel the ABV that it says it is, although it definitely feels like the taste wise, it tastes like a strong Polish lager that we get in the UK, because they tend to, I find, have more sweetness than malt. And I don't know if that is sweet malt that's being used or just it's sugar that's added to increase the ABV. I don't know about the brewing methods that are used on those, but this is definitely not feeling 8. It could be 6 to 8 anyways, but it doesn't feel 6 either. But it has the taste of a higher ABV. It doesn't feel a higher ABV though. Oh yes, that's kind of nice. Right, I only have one more beer in the bank. That's terrible. In the fridge, I should say. Just getting silly notifications from YouTube about I'm live or whatever else. It's like, of course I'm live. Well, no, I'm live, aren't I? Right, I'll be back in a second. Oh, hello, Mark. Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing, Mark? You've seen some beers I've checked in anyway. So I've already checked in this one on Untapped. I had it, actually. So when I arrived here in India, I was dry for a week. Why? I just decided to be. I decided just to hold off the beer. It was Diwali festivals, and I thought, oh well. I did have a tiny bit of whiskey, and I mean tiny bit of a whiskey that's made in India, and it was okay, very sweet, but only a tiny bit. By the way, didn't have beer from the Saturday, from like Friday to Friday. And my first check-in was this on Friday the week prior, and I'd done that on tap, so I think you've seen I checked that in. But I did check in the beer from my flight, but I checked that in 24 hours later. That's because I had set up, internet and all the rest, and I arrived at the early hours in the morning. I'd obviously drank that back in London at 10 o'clock or whatever on the flight. So, Brewdog were due to open out here in Mumbai just before lockdown. They secured the venue, which is funnily enough near where Trump Tower is being built in Mumbai, although I think the name's now changed because of whatever Trump's been up to. I think he's popular here maybe with some people in India, with Modi and that, but I think he doesn't have the financing. But yeah, they're based in an area called Lower Parel, and Lower Parel has been an area I've always gone to when I come to Mumbai. It was the area where I first had, I would say, craft beer in India. They in Lower Parel, there was a place that opened up there called the Barking Deer, and that was the original sort of craft beer pub. They were brewing on site, so they were a micro brewery, and they were brewing. They had an American brewer in, and they're brewing styles that you wouldn't find in India elsewhere. And then the White Owl opened up, which is just down the road from them, but I think they've closed that venue since. But Lower Parel is definitely an area where you get lots of different beers and breweries and loads of pubs. So they've got Bar Stock Exchange there, which is the place where you go where the price goes up and down based off demand, I think. So they're trying to get people to drink different beers, and sometimes they do the whole stock price, stock market crash, and suddenly one of the beers is half price or whatever. But people love it, a bit trendy. There was a place actually that's closed now that was round here last time I came, and I think it was called Jack's or something like that. It was Agent Jack, I think it was called. And what would happen is you would put a bid in for your drinks. So you would say Budweiser Magnum, and you would on their app you would write Budweiser Magnum. I'll give you in a bar, considering because this is 195 outside, max price. In a bar, you say like 250, and it would be on the screens and it would show your face and show your offer, and then it would show their response, and it would be like, no chance, mate, or who do you think I am, or done. Or they'll come back with a counter offer, and so what you'd find is during the night you'd be putting in low ball in, and it would be coming back offering something else. It was just a way of bargaining for your beer at that stage. It's bizarre, but sometimes you'd see people get given the low ball. Sometimes it just done that just to get people interested. So someone would say, oh well, 10 shots of vodka for I don't know, 50 rupees, which is 50p, and it would say done, and everyone would be like, what? So they would be getting shots, but it just tempts you to do low ball, but it rejects most of your low balls otherwise. Yeah, it's the idea of feeling you're getting a bargain, but as I said, you're in a bar, you're going to pay more at that stage anyways. But yeah, Brewdog are based in Lower Parel, which I think they're calling Mumbai Central. That's their Mumbai Central, even though that isn't quite central, because the central for me is where the gateway to India is, the Taj Hotel. Taj? Yeah, Taj Hotel. That is central, and that's where the main terminus, like Churchgate Station, is. That's central, which actually is South Mumbai. I know it's right on the south coast, but for me that's central. So probably they've got their descriptions right. Hey Scott, I'm doing good. Over the 1,000, yay! Cheers to that. I sent you the response via email, and then I seen you sent something on Instagram separately as well. Yeah, all good out here, mate. All good. So I'm in India, just chilling, relaxing. Got the aircon on, so I hope it's not. I'll look at the sound volume. No, it's not. I hope it's not causing issues with the sound. And I'm just chilling, drinking some beers. It's a Saturday. I've got a long weekend. I'm not back at work till Wednesday, so I can enjoy myself. And I'm looking to head to some of the breweries out here as well. So some I've been to before, like I've been Brewbot, and I've got fond memories of Brewbot because I walked in and they were doing the mash, and it just, that smell of it, walking in and smelling a mash at a brewery is amazing. So I'm looking forward to that, but I'm looking to go out, I say, to some of the other breweries that are based in Pune to try and, taste some of their beers. So I need to sort that out with someone that I know here, who I tend to go to all these places with. But yeah, it's all good out here, all good. Plenty of beer, including mainstream ones, but plenty of other ones. There's some that I hadn't even realised existed. Like, they have a strong Foster's here. Now, I'm not a fan of Foster's, but you offer me a 6 to 8% Foster's, and I haven't had it before, of course I'm going to try it. And actually, up next, I have something that I haven't tried before. I haven't even checked the ABV. I think it's a higher ABV. I'm just going to quickly check. Ooh, I'm looking at it. Yes, it is. Up next, I've got Beck's Ice Superior Strength. Now, some things say superior, and I don't mean it at all, but this is Beck's between 6 and 8%. So I am looking forward to trying that to see what it's like. Now, I feel I'm going to have to bring quite a lot of beers back because they've got an Amstel that I want to try and compare against, like a European and UK Amstel. And then there's a few other beers that I would just like to put UK versus Indian head to head at that stage. I don't think I've got luggage space to bring all that back. You had a 15.2% beer. Mark. Do you know what? I've seen, like, you checked in Croydon area somewhere. I need to sort out meeting you, definitely, but I need to bring, like, I don't know if it's still the world's strongest beer, but yeah, you've got to try that. You've got to whack it out of the park at that stage. Bourbon County Stout. I've had it, and I've also got a bottle of 2017, I think, that I don't know why I'm saving it for. Like all the Fuller's vintages. Don't know what I'm saving for, but there you go. Oh, Orange. Oh, 18%. Oh, they do a 21 as well, don't they? I tried to buy it. I tried to buy it, Scott, and it was a bloody nightmare to find because I seen loads of people, reviewers on YouTube, were getting it from this company, and they were getting the 4-pack, and I wasn't obviously on YouTube at that stage, but I was trying to buy it, and it was bloody difficult. They don't sell to UK, and in the UK, in my local place, all I could find was the 8.5 and the 10%, which is horrible as it is, but they do like 12, 15, 18, and I think 21%. And someone said 21 tastes better than 18. But saying that, I seen you done the dragon soup, not VIP version or whatever they're calling it. I think they call it VIP, isn't it? And that was that 15% or 16%? I didn't realise dragon soup went that high. 8.5 standard, or they've maybe dropped to 7.5 now. But that is bloody crazy. I mean, the amount of alcohol, the amount of caffeine, you were pissed anyways at that stage. And then the amount of sugar. God, you mustn't have slept that night, I tell you. A 4-pack for a tenner. Oh, it's not good beer, but it might be good value at a tenner. It might be good value at a tenner. So, Mark, what do you think of the Bourbon County Stout at that stage? I think it's really good beer, and I don't think them being taken over by AB InBev has actually changed anything at all. I think the Bourbon County Stout by Goose Island is still a solid beer at that stage. Esquire, that's it. Esquire. Dreadful, really. I doubt it. You look like you're enjoying it there in the video, Scott. Really enjoying it at that stage. Sorry if the lighting goes up and down. It's because the light is on in the temple at the moment behind me. I think I read a fact the other day, like it's probably like there's one temple per 20 people in India, but I think the idea of that is obviously you've got your big temples, they've got small little temples all over the place. I walked down the road even to the local shop and I passed 2 temples, and people in the house have a temple, what they call a temple. So that's a temple there behind me. And then you got to think though, you go, oh, well, actually, if every house has one, but you turn around and go, everyone's Hindu. You've got your Muslim population, you've got your Christian population, like Goa. And then you've got the idea that obviously one household isn't one person. There's probably 5, 6, 7 even to a house, because you've got multi-generation. So that fact is quite scary, considering there's, billion plus people, and per them there's so many temples. Crazy numbers. But yeah, sorry, that was just me going off on one because temple's behind me there. You blame Roger. Oh, did Roger pick it up, or did you find it? I thought you said you found it, Scott, at that stage. I mentioned it to Harry because I seen yours and I was on Harry's live after. I was chatting on his live, and I sort of said, I just seen Scott had done it, and I thought, wow. Oh, lovely. Do you know what? I forgot the Beer Hawk bar is there on South Bank. Yeah, I've been there. It's a decent bar. They've got also, what's the one under the theatre? They do quite good range of beers. Anyway, South Bank's good. Loads of pubs and loads of options of beers. And you also find now on the other side near the London Eye, on the ramp up, there's that bar in there as well, which is normally always busy during Christmas time, but now is a good time to sort of go when it's not busy. Waterloo Tap, that's my go-to generally. If I was coming out of Waterloo, I'd go Waterloo Tap. Train delays. Go get a beer at Waterloo Tap. There's no delays. It's just me saying I've missed the train or there's a delay. Any excuse to get a beer in before I go somewhere. Yeah, it's not the most successful, I would say, but there's a range there, and it sort of acts as I feel from them acts more as a promotional sort of element, doesn't it? I haven't bought from Beer Hawk in quite a while actually, because they got bought out by, is it Heineken? It's not I've not bought from them because they've been bought out. It's just when they got bought out, I feel that their range dropped slightly, and that's sort of why I haven't really bought from them. I've bought from Beers of Europe quite a bit, although I know I'm paying a higher price at that stage. I'm not too concerned. You know, their pricing isn't amazing, but the variety of beer that they offer is really good, and their service is really good as well. And I'm willing to pay a bit more for that. But ideally, I've been trying to, especially with, I say, my UK brewery project, I'm trying to buy directly from the brewery. It's not always possible with some of them, but it's all about just giving money to the breweries, and I don't mind, you know, bottle shops and the like, rather than buying direct from supermarkets. Don't get me wrong, I buy beer from supermarkets. The four, you know, the 4 for £5 offer, amazing. Especially, I think with my recent one with Badger, I bought beer from Badger, but then I bought like some of the beers from the supermarket because Badger just on the website it's a bit of a rip off for some of the prices for the beers, and you're like, well, you're only charging £1.75 or £1.50 in a supermarket, and you're charging £2.25 direct on your website. It's like, not really, but the set was a good offer. And then last year they done a I've got to watch out for that. I know Raggy mentioned it previously, but it was the idea that there is the sort of free shipping day that the companies have sort of, they're not signed up to, but it's become a thing in the industry where the breweries will do free shipping on this day. I don't know if it's near Father's Day, probably not, because that's a big money period. But yeah, there's something where they will ship out. They all sign up and say, oh, we're doing free delivery just for this day only, and that's when it's totally worth it, because having to spend 60 quid at a brewery versus, you know, spending 20 quid and getting a whack of beer, I think that's, you know, free delivery, get in. Some charge 7-8 quid for it. I do find though a lot of the Scottish ones, they don't charge delivery because obviously if they're based in the Highlands charge an excess for delivery to Highlands in the first place, and that's where they're based. So they just assume that they're going to take that whack, and they just sort of include it in the beer price. But the beers are still reasonably priced, and I find that's quite handy for me at that stage. I'm like, well, you know, nothing to qualify for it. I think maybe it's 20 quid, free delivery, bang, loads of good beers. I'll take that. Right. I am tempted. I'm tempted. Now, actually, I'm not going to have these because I brought them for someone else. I'm just going to show what I brought from the UK. I did mention Badger, and so I have brought the Tanglefoot Special, which is what I did give Raggy. This is not the original 2019 brew. This is the rebrew that they've done this year, 2021. So they've done a batch in 2019, and then they've rebrewed in 2021. The same 8.7% Tanglefoot Special, because I guess it was a big success. I then have, whoops, I brought the wrong beer. I've brought, oh yes, Plum Porter Grand Reserve. Now this is a Christmas beer for me, and that's why I brought it for the person I'm bringing it for. That is Christmas all over. Of course, you know, you can't, it's not Christmas without the Plum Porter. And I've brought something that I feel, something that's very Indian in, you know, flavours. I've brought a Mango Lassi IPA from Northern Monk. This was from my UK brew project, but I thought, oh, do you know what? Mango Lassi, I bought it for this reason. That's so Indian in style that they would love it. Now, if I had a bottle opener, I would open what I had sort of drank a 6-pack of different flavours. I've got ginger beer, non-alcoholic, by Kohlberg. It's called High on Ginger, 0.0. I don't have it. I don't have a bottle opener. It's not chilled. It doesn't need to be chilled. It's like a soft drink, but I'm not going to drink that. But yeah, this for me, Plum Porter, standard Plum Porter is a Christmas beer for me. It is a Christmas beer. You find it on draft all the time on you know, cask in pubs. The standard Plum Porter, but the reserve and the port version, amazing ones that you. I think I have to buy some, get it delivered to friends or parents' house so I can pick it up. I'm actually looking at the Fuller's website. I'm going to order some stuff and probably send it out to my parents that I'll pick up in January from them. They have put all their Brewer Reserve beers on, and Asahi obviously have taken over and rationalised the prices, I'll say. They're not doing the crazy prices that Fuller's were doing, where it was a case of 50, 60, 80 quid for the Brewer's Reserve. Now I think they're all 20 quid a bottle, which I know is a lot, but they're not brewing them anymore. They were brewed once and that's it. And I'm tempted to pick all of them up, including the only one that I've ever had that I thought was amazing. That's why I think I may pick them all up. Smashing glasses down there. Kegs of the... Oh, I'd love the Grand Reserve Porter in a keg. That'd be amazing. I think the Grand... I'll quickly answer your question, Pete, actually. I haven't tried Perfect Draft. I think out of the systems, Perfect Draft offer a wider variety only because the two Heineken systems, Blade and the 2 litre... what's the 2 litre one called again, offhand? Someone else was saying in the comments. They all only really do beers that are as part of the Heineken group, whereas Perfect Draft is by Phillips, who don't do beer, and they've signed up agreements with so many different ones, from Tennent's, of course, to Tiny Red Bull, and other breweries as well. So I think Perfect Draft, for me, is better, and I would be tempted to get one. I just need to wing it with the missus. I think I need to get a shed, actually, at that stage. Set up a little pub shed outside in the house. Then I won't be taking up in the room in the house, and put a mini fridge out there and all the rest. Yeah, sub-crups. That's the crups. It's the crups. Yeah, they haven't found me yet. Thankfully, they haven't found me. But I'm not giving away my location, apart from my perhaps check-ins on Untapped. But there you go. Yeah, Crub sub. Yeah, the subcompact and 2. I always looked at that, but the thing is, 2 litres for me was too little. I mean, it's good because I looked at it and went, oh, that would be kind of good to go through it. You could get the subcompact 2 litres, chill the beers, have 2 litres, and it's sort of, that's a nice amount in a sense for me. But at the same time, the variety is limited. I like the idea of the Gandalf IPA, but I've had a lot of those in bottle. But then you're limited, and Heineken has to bring out a new brand, whereas Perfect Draft is changing all the time. There's a complete difference, I would say, between Pinter and Perfect Draft. Perfect Draft is obviously keg rated. I mean, not keg rated, but it's a keg beer with carbonation in there, not natural carbonation. So one's like going to a pub and having something on keg, and the other one's having it on cask. And also, Pinter's completely down to how you brew, how you cleanse, and all the rest. What I like about the Pinter is I do like to brew at home, but the most important thing is I like to be able to change things up, and that's the one thing that's made a difference from a lot of the other home brew things that were available. Was there's a lot of these. I tried this before I was on YouTube or whatever, and it was actually, funnily enough, by the same guy. I don't know if you remember, there was a thing called Drink Victor, and they were brew in a bag things, and all it was you add water, mix it up, and that's it, and they had a tap at the bottom, you pour it. That's actually made by the same guys that made the Pinter. Didn't realise that, but they were on Dragon's Den, got rejected, blah 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 blah. I bought that as a test to see if I could add extra dark malt to the one that I had, and it really didn't work that well, because it wasn't made for changing anything. If I added sugars to it, it probably would have burst out the plastic bag at that stage. Whereas the Pinter, I looked at it as a vessel for not only putting, I've done it, I've put my home brew into the Pinter, rather than having to bottle into separate bottles. I can do my bottling and put it into the pinter. So it means rather than having to crack open 4 bottles in a night, I can just have my pinter and start drinking out of that. And that's why I looked at it to begin with, thinking I can tinker with this, and that's what I liked about it. And it definitely is available for tinkering, and Pinter 2 does offer a bit more on that tinkering element that I do really like. But the Perfect Draft, going back to that, definitely one I would go over the other two, and it's something I would eye up getting. But then I think if I was going down that route, I might end up getting just mini kegs. I think what would be interesting is if, and this is what annoys me, if they do like the whole Apple method and they suddenly go, oh, do you know what? I'm going to add the pint of the ability to carbonate it, and they, you put little carbonation capsules in that you can buy. That would annoy me. That would annoy me if they just took pint or 2 and then added that on in a year's time. That would be like, no. Although I love the idea of it, I'd be like, nope, you're just going to do a new model each year, and I'm not that interested. Sorry, Baz, just getting to you. Oh, I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good. I hope you're doing okay. I've not got beer in my hand. How terrible is that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Beck's Ice. So Beck's Ice is it's not going to focus, is it? If I can get it right. Well, it's Beck's, but it's between 6 and 8%, so it's not your normal Beck's at this stage. And it's in a can. There we go. Wow, that's probably the biggest head I've had on the pour today, so that's not gone very well. I'm not going to quite say knobhead pour, but it's close to a knobhead pour. I'm building up all the cans on the side here. Wow, so there we go. That's a Beck's up to maybe 8%, could be 6, could be 8, just how India does it, I don't know. I don't know. Right, I'm going to catch up. Pints are great, but I find it doesn't last too long, maybe 3 days. Yeah, and they say in the Pints too, it may make it last longer, but I tend to find you need to... That's why I bottled some of it. So you drink it and then you bottle it. And it was all about... You'd have to plan it so that it was ready for a time you would be willing to drink. So if I done it on a Tuesday and it's middle of work week, I was unlikely going to finish that. But if it was a Thursday, it was ready. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. By Sunday, I could have got most of it done, and then I could have bottled the rest, which is what I've done quite a bit with it. No. It's posh room, posh. All right, thank you very much. Temple behind me there. The bed is very... It had a gold spray at some stage. Looks like it's gone. But yeah, this is the parents' house, the Mrs. Parents' house that I'm in. So I'm in the bedroom here. This is what we're sleeping in. Yay. I was just going to say, yeah, Baz, so you cancelled your pint of 2 order. I fully understand. I've put through my order, but I'm not going to be there to pick it up, and I won't really get to it till January. I'm just more interested in seeing that hopping. Can I use that rather than how I was doing in Dr. Dry Hop or add a hop tea? Can I reuse a hop bottle they've got? And I'm hoping they haven't done the bottles that you can't really reuse it, or you have to fiddle about with it. But some way I would like to use that because it makes it easier to hop. I'm just putting a small amount of hop oil in rather than having to mix with a load of water, which will change the ABV value. So I'm interested in it for that reason. I think that the tap, I think that could cause loads of issues. But I don't blame you. There's been loads of people with issues, and my concern is, are they going to launch this and try and launch another one next year? As people get saying, is this the Apple model where they're going to put small improvements every year, and then are you in, you're not going to buy new ones all the time, and then they stop supporting the old one? I'll ditch it at that stage. But for me, it's always available as a vessel to put homebrew into. That's the way I look at it. So although it's pricey versus what other containers could be, but the other containers would be bigger brews, I want to just do smaller brews. I want to do smaller batches, and that's what I like doing, and I could potentially reuse it. You got Perfect Drafts, Perfect Lager, but ironically, there are only craft lagers available. What do you mean? They've got Tennants on there. What are you on about? They've got the best lager there is. Tennants. Come on. If they had super Tennants, I know you'd be bloody enjoying that, wouldn't you? My sub isn't on anyway, so I turned it off in September. They put out so I sent you that beer, Baz. I give you the code for what was the dark lager. I can't remember. They renamed it. It was called guest list, and then they renamed it and launched it in the main September beer. I knew that would happen. I sort of like stopped my subscription at that stage, and then nothing really happened in October because they were too busy trying to launch Pints 2. And at the end of October they launched that beer, but I was like, well, I'm going. And then I've had so many orders go sort of wrong over the past 3 months that I've got too many fresh presses than I care to think about. And the fact is, these fresh presses are in my fridge right now, and I'm concerned that I didn't brew them. They might go bad, but I think the fresh press should be fine. I'm just going to have to buy yeast because the yeast is obviously not in the fridge, and that's more likely to go bad at that stage. What do you mean it's awful? Baz, well, yeah, you haven't had tenants. I had tenants fresh from the tank at the brewery. And I had it, and I was like, just tastes like tenants. It was brewery fresh. Normally, you get brewery fresh, and it tastes a bit better. It just tasted like tenants. And you can take that as you feel. I'm just going to say it tastes like tenants. Right. Surprisingly, the Beck's Lager has kept a bit of its head compared to the... So previously, I've had the Kingfisher Ultra, which, although it's Ultra, although it's Ultra, is only 5%. Then I've had the Budweiser Magnum, and this is up to 8%, so 6 to 8% based on Indian guidelines on it. And that had no head at all, kept disappearing, and it was, I'd say, overly sweet, but didn't feel the ABV that it was. It tasted like it should be like a Polish high-level ABV beer, but it didn't have the feel to it, the mouthfeel or the actual alcohol feel. Then this is now Beck's Ice, which again is the whole 6 to 8% level, because they don't say the ABV exactly, they just say not greater or not exceeding 8%. But I know I've just re-poured, but the head was keeping okay on that. It still had a head, so carbonation rising up. The Budweiser carbonation rising up, but it wasn't as great to maintain the head level, I would say. This, surprisingly, no sweetness smell on it. That's good. I feel like there's extra sugar added to push that ABV up. It smells like a mellow Beck's, which is a bit bizarre, considering it's a souped up one, but let's try it. Oh wow. Okay. It is sweeter than normal Beck's, give it that straight away. But that's bloody smooth. I mean, there's carbonation there, but that is easy drinking. Wow. Wow. What's concerning is it doesn't feel overly carbonated, but I can see slow carbonation rising up and maintain that head. That is actually really, really smooth. Wow. And I just looked. Brewed for smoothness. What the fuck? Well, they got that right. It's smooth. It is bloody smooth. Unbelievable. So the crop sub, I'm going back to Mark. Sorry, I'm missing lows and going all the way up. So crop sub is definitely... Oh, sorry. Hi, Thomas. Sorry. I'll say hi to Thomas, and cheers for usual thumbs and likes up, and the usual what Willow Craft Beer would ask as well. I honestly kept looking at that. I was looking at it for the last 2 years before lockdown, and I wanted to buy it, but then I kept saying the idea is for myself, 2 liters is perfectly fine because that's enough for one beer. But then they didn't have enough that would keep me interested, perhaps. And then it was the idea if a friend came round, you get 3 pints out of it, and half a pint, and that's it really. And I was a bit like, oh. It was just that annoyance of it. But I think it's a good idea. For me, I would like it if it was perhaps a bit bigger in size. I know it sounds weird, but if the 2 liters could instead become 3 pints, which is near 4 liters, that would be sort of a balancing point for me that would say, yeah, that's kind of good. But when you go to some of the other ones, they're a bit too high. So those mini kegs that are 5 liters, that's sort of the upper limit of what I would say that is good for a solo drink in a sense. That you've got enough that you can enjoy it, but not enough that you're going to be like, oh, I don't like this, I've got to trundle through the rest of it. And that sort of one that I think would be good. But I said the Krupp sub is more limited than Perfect Draft, but I think there's more on the sub than there is on maybe the Blade, because the Blade is aimed at the shops in a sense, or the cafe shops that sell them. Shit beer still, shit beer. Yep, I agree entirely, Baz. My favourite tipple when I went to Carolina, it was Bullet Lager. Do you know what? I have been looking around and I can't find Bullet Lager. It's not in this state from what I can see. But they do have Hayward's 2000 and Hayward's 5000, which I'm going to go for. They have Foster's Strong. They have, obviously, Beck's Ice. I'm going to try them all. I've had loads of beers, but I'm here for longer. When I came before, I'd have a few of the ones I've not had. Literally like all the Kingfisher ones I done last time. And time before that was Goa, and I obviously had loads of beers in Goa. But previously I've been going out to the brew pubs, but now I'm doing both. And the fact is the law's changed in India that you can get beer delivered to the house. Before you had to go pick it up from an actual venue. And now I could like go to a place that I didn't mention before, Effing Gut Go, which is just down here. Effing Gut is a brewery based in Mumbai. And they have a place nearby that is an outlet, and I can get the beer from them, get it delivered in 20 minutes here. And it would be coming in a 2-liter bottle at that stage, or it depends actually. Yeah, I think it's 2 liters, and they've got loads of options. Heat not head. I didn't even read that wrong at that stage. I seen you said ginger, and I assumed the heat, but the head. I'm glad you got lots of head out, Carol, at that stage. A 10% stout. Do you know what? I reached the same thing just before I was leaving, Mark. I was of the stage of, I'm not buying beer because I'm going, but I was wanting to drink, and I was like, I've got too much high ABV beer left here. And the beer that I did have, I couldn't drink because I was saving it for my UK brewery project, and it was like all those Badger beers and all the rest. I only recorded that literally the week I was going. I was supposed to be packing. I was bloody recording that, and then I stayed up packing till 4 a.m. Before I was due to head to the airport for 6. But yeah, I wasn't drinking the lower ABV stuff because I was sort of keeping it, so I was just stuck with higher ABV. But it was nice to get some of that stuff out of the way because I've been tempted by it and just thought, I'll wait for someone else. But there you go. Have I had any toddy out here? What, a toddy as in hot whiskey, as in a hot toddy? I've obviously had, and do you know what? When I come up to Welwyn Garden City, which I need to sort out with you, when I come up to Welwyn Garden City, I'll decant a little bit. I will bring my my Indian spirit for you that I've got that's been aged in whiskey. It's made from the fruit of the cashew. So we get the nuts, but the fruit is there. And in Goa, they distill that fruit, and it's fucking lethal. But I wonder if oak aging for 18 years changes it. Well, it changed the colour. I'm hoping it changes the taste. But then who knows if they just added colouring and said it was 18 years. I don't know. I'll find out at that stage. But there's loads of whiskies out there that make me laugh. They say they're Scotch whiskies, but what it is the Scotch malt is sent out as an extract here. Then they add it to the water. Then they add, I think, sugars as well, and then they bring it together. And then they turn around and go Scotch whiskey or Scottish whiskey. You can't say use the word Scotch. Scottish whiskey. It's not Scottish whiskey. It's a like an extract brew in home with the pinter. It's not. It's an extract. It's an extract. There you go. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Mark, have you had the Gandalf IPA? Because that's the only one I know it's higher ABV. It's the only one that's really got my attention. Because I think I've had literally every other one in bottle. Although it'd be interesting to try them in draft at that stage. But yeah, 3.5 litres, 4 litres would be perfect for going into a beer. And if you don't like it, it's not too much in a sense to go, well, it's only 5 pints, and you could say first taste doesn't mean anything. Second taste, give it a day or two, try again and see. And then otherwise, like, oh well, it's only 5 pints, and you can drink it over a few days, so it wouldn't be too bad. Where'd you buy these beers? These beers, I'm out in Mumbai. I'm in India. And my aim is to try and bring some back. And I wouldn't mind meeting up with some people to see if they wouldn't mind tasting some of these. So my idea is to try and meet... So I've said to Steve, obviously stuntman Steve, jumping down the stairs. I've said to him that I'm looking to come down his way in Jan-Feb time. I'm obviously I'm in here till I've got to leave India by the 18th of Jan, and then I'm gonna travel the UK a little bit, see a few places, do a few things. I'm gonna make most of my time, and then I think I'm back out in India in April maybe. And the idea is I'm going to bring some beers back with me now. I'm back in April, and it'd be good to try and meet up with some people to go through and taste some of these beers. I.e., put Budweiser Magnum against Budweiser in the UK, see what people think. It's going to be totally different in the UK though, because you haven't got the heat, you haven't got the humidity. It tastes different. Everything does. Once you add the heat level in, it's a bit more satisfying to drink the beer. Just goes down easy. That's what it is. Todd equals fermented coconut flower sap. Oh wow. I think that must be a local thing to Kerala. I could try. See, the problem with Kerala is too far south probably for where I am. I mean, I could try and fly out there, but the COVID stuff is a bit of a nightmare when flying, especially because they'll see my passport and sort of think something else. Even though I'm domestic, they may think it's domestic connection. But yeah, that's it's not something I've had before. So as I said, I've had the Goan sort of fermented fruit, and it's like poutine in Ireland at that stage. It's just absolutely crazy ABV. Most people, it's in plastic bottles with dodgy labels, brewed in bathtubs at home, and they just can it to you, and you could be anything from like 40 to 75%, and it's clear liquid. It's dodgy as, but there's a few respectable ones that brew it maybe, and it's called, so the one I'm talking about is called Fenny. It's called Fenny. It's I say from the fruit of the cashew. So they pick the cashews and then they ferment the fruit, and that's what they all get pissed on. And it varies. I've had some terrible ones, but then again, in Goa and around India as well, you find Old Monk rum, which is a rough rum, but they have different versions of it. So they've got like the XR Reserve and all the rest, but it's some rough stuff at that stage. Honestly, quite rough. Oh, St. Frolian's really good anyway. So I've had, the thing is, I picked up most of the St. Frolian's at Waitrose, but I would say, obviously, having it in keg format is completely different to having it in bottle, which is where the Krups subcompact comes in. It's all about that, having it as a keg version. That's what makes it really good. Yeah, they've got, I say, German, Austrian beers from Netherlands and Italy, but it is what is owned by Heineken Group, so it's all down to either who they acquire or what they perhaps release, which is hard to find. They may release a new style or something along those lines, but who knows? Right. The Beck's is kind of decent, actually. I said it's really smooth. The can's warming up a bit, sadly. Ooh. It's quite active on the head in the sense which gives a nice pour every time. There you go. I know this isn't a purist pour because the glass I'm using, I've just reused them. Being lazy, I don't want to have to run out all the time. What I may do, open that ginger beer. Oh dear, 0 alcohol. I'm not a fan of ginger beers. I know probably Raggy would like it at that stage, but it's too low alcohol for him as well. Yeah, it's unbelievably smooth. I've just seen it says 100% malt, so they are saying they're not adding, well, actually that could be misleading. I was about to say they're not adding sugars, but the 100% malt could be in relation to the fact that they're not using rice like it says on the Budweiser, which says rice. So maybe the 100% malt just means 100% malt, but it's a bit like saying 100% chicken breast, but it means the chicken we use is 100% chicken breast, but we chuck in a load of liver and all the other stuff in there as well. Who knows? Who knows? Right, I'm already looking going. Hour and a half? Have I really been nearly an hour and a half on it? Bloody hell. I drank the first 2 beers like quite quickly, I felt. Well, the first one especially. Need to sort out dinner. I think it may be butter chicken. I've had a lot of variety of different foods anyways, from seafood, which sounds weird, but yes, Mumbai is a seafood area. It's right on the sea, so loads of fresh fish catch coming in all the time, especially mackerel. Quite a lot of mackerel. But I am looking to do a few videos of some street food stuff. But I think I'll put them up as shorts, and I'm not the biggest fan of shorts, but it's just I can't dedicate a whole video to doing that. I do beer, but I might record some of the food stuff that I get, like something I dislike entirely, pan. So PANN I think it is, and it's I'd say it's more like a mouth freshener that they have. So it's in a leaf, and then they put all these other bits in there, like a sort of, let's say, a rose chutney with some coconut and other bits and pieces, some spices. And it's just, I don't like rose. I dislike rose. So they put rose in it, and I'm like, oh. And I've had it a few times from different places. I just don't like it. It's yeah. Certain people are a certain way with what they like and flavors and taste. Some people hate beer, but I just can't handle the sort of rose. Right, I am going to be back in a sec. I'm going to have a quick gentleman's break, but also I'm going to try and find a bottle opener. So I shall be back in a second, guys. All right, take care. back again. Sorry. Do you know what? I found my bottle opener. I could have actually bought some bottled beers, as in long, 630ml versions rather than 500. But oh well, doesn't matter at that stage. Right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open my 0% ginger beer. But I'm not pouring it into a glass. I think this is going to be god awful. Surprisingly, the mint one wasn't. But I've got a feeling this might be. And I'm concerned. Right. This hasn't been chilled. This is just sitting here at room temperature. But it's not alcohol, so it doesn't really matter, does it? It's 0%. Oh, fucking hell. No, straight away. The ginger hit on that is... No, that's too ginger. It's bad on a bad beer ginger. No. Oh, right. I don't know why. This is just ginger, but oh dear, I don't like it. Actually, a lot of sweetness to it. As I said, I think these are more like soft drinks rather than they list them as malt beverages 0%, but it's not. It's a soft drink. So much sugar in that. It's got to be a soft drink. 0%. There's no point down in it. There's no point down in it. I don't like it. I don't like it. There's ginger is still there, but it's just sugary. This is what I prefer. 8%, up to 8%, 6 to 8%, Beck's. And that is smooth. That is definitely smooth. Definitely smooth. So, what's your 10% stout that you're on? And leftover, what's it left over from? You mean you forgot it was there? Or it's the only beer you've got left, from my understanding? Oh dear. All I know is, I've got to check my phone actually. The missus has gone out and she messaged me and I didn't look. Okay. She is at the shops, as you would expect. She's... well, I picked up more than I probably thought I would drink, sadly. I thought I'd be drinking more of them, because during Diwali, they're all drinking. They're drinking, playing card games, they're gambling. Just sort of the family way at that stage. They drink and they gamble. But small amounts, like 10 to 20p gambling, and then, by the time you've played a bit, you're down a fiver. But it's small little gambling. But yeah, I bought a few because I thought there'll be more going on, but I didn't end up drinking them because I felt they're more soft drinky. So I still have a 6-pack of variety beer from Kohlberg, and I have a 6-pack from another company. And I think I'm gonna just do a review of them in one. Do a video, do a review of them. There you go, done. And just upload it. But I do, as I was saying at the beginning, I've got 3 reviews from the beer house that I went to, where I had some beers on Thursday. And then I have I have a Tuborg review. So over here, they got Tuborg Premium and Tuborg Strong. So I've done a review of that, but obviously it's during Diwali, and I'd done it at the house here, and it was bloody noisy next door. So you're going to hear a lot of Hindi in the background. And if you speak Hindi or can work out what's going on, you'll probably work out what they're shouting about. It's a card game, about cheat and whatever else. There you go. But I'll still put the video up, sod it. Omnipolo Noah. Oh, okay. All right. I've not had that one at all. Do you know what? I had a hinkering for the other day. I had because my mate was down. Well, he was on the train, and he said, "Oh, I'm heading into Canary Wharf, and I'm passing all these great places." And it was like, was thinking, oh, Muddy Kelly and Vauxhall. Yeah, I could hit that up. I could hit that up. The Waterloo Tap. I was like, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. And he was going through at the stations when he was going by, and I was like, at each station, I was thinking, yeah, yeah, I could do that. I could do that. I mean, what? Okay. So have Morrison's changed their range? Because I know Sainsbury. So obviously down south, you must know Croydon area over towards Epsom. There's quite a lot of Sainsbury's, and I think Sainsbury's range is very stale in beers, well, beers, wines, and spirits. But yeah, very stale. They don't change it too much. Um, I think it's better for me to head to sort of the Asda and Purley Way. I'll get more options for beer there than at Sainsbury's. And I've gone to probably about 6 Sainsbury's in the area, and there's really not much at all. Although there's a Sainsbury's in Sutton and a Sainsbury's in Purley Way. Not Sainsbury's, Morrison's in Sutton, Morrison's Purley Way that stock a decent range, I would say. Yeah. But I didn't realise they had added more stuff to their range. I know Sainsbury's have a crappy. Listeners a beer festival, but there's really nothing new on there at all, is there? It just feels the same old beers from what I've seen. I think you got their Christmas beer and something else. What are my thoughts on Brewdog? Well, I'm not into the whole idea of bashing Brewdog as people like to do. What I will turn around and say is that Brewdog are not. The idea of craft brewery in the UK is completely misaligned because we've taken it from the US. What we should be looking at is what we originally had as a terminology for, regional breweries. So in the UK, you had your ale producers, and if they became too big, they were considered regional. And the idea is that Brewdog are regional and above. So they're not a craft brewery in my eyes. Craft brewery is a smaller volume. You can't just take the US version of it. And the fact that they obviously brew in the US and brew in Aberdeen and they count those quantities as separate breweries, that's not the case. They are one brewery, Brewdog, with the recipes being produced different places. So not a craft brewery. They are a macro brewery in my eyes. They're macro. But at the same level, I don't have that level of hate that people seem to have. People seem to like to bash the Brewdog. They are producing new beers constantly, and they are hit and miss. They are all down to flavors quite a lot, and also the idea that they are trying new styles, but not as much as they were when they were younger. So the idea is they've got the recent ranges a bit like Northern Monk teaming up with other companies to create a style. So Northern Monk's done Seabrooks and all the rest. They're doing, their Tony's Chocolonely thing, which I thought was terrible. I didn't like it. It wasn't to the flavour. But then again, I've had Tony's chocolate, and that is very much tasting like Easter egg chocolate to me. So I didn't expect much of the beer to begin with. But Brewdog, if you're out and about, I think you walk into a pub, and this is how I always weigh things up. You walk into a pub and you look. When I go into a pub, I look at the ale taps to begin with, and I go, is there something on there that I haven't had? No. Then I look at the keg taps and go, is there something on there that's sort of new or stands out to me? No. Then I'll think about the ale again quickly and go, is there one of those that I like? So if I looked at the ale and I walked in, so it's Green King Pub or Nicholson's, and I looked at it and I went, well, you've got like Green King IPA, you've got Nicholson's Pale Ale, you've got Tribute. I'll be like, not interested in any of those. I'll look at the kegs. But if the kegs are entirely just mainstream, like your standard lagers and a Guinness, I would then go back and go, I'll have a Tribute. But otherwise, if there was Brewdog on there, I would turn around and go, oh, I might have the Brewdog. So if the Clockwork Orange, Elvis Juice, changed recipe, not the same, I know. But I did like Elvis Juice when it first came out. I still think it's a decent drink, but not quite where it should be or what it was at that stage. But the Brewdog bars, at least if you walk in, they do have the guest beers, and they always do stock a nice range of guest beers on there. So you can walk in, you can see, even in Mumbai here, you walk in and there was, I think, 6 guest beers in, 2 from 3 different breweries on there, and at least it was an option for me. So they came up with a tasters to me. They brought a taster set to me of Brewdog beers. So 6 different Brewdog beers. And the manager, the sort of top manager at that stage, came and said, the guy was trying to explain to me the beers. He said, no. He's a don't explain this to him. Just tell him what the beers are, because he was trying to tell me like, oh, this is the Punk IPA that has flavors. And I was like, yeah, all right, cheers, thanks. And he was going through each of the beers, and the guy was like, no, don't explain it to him. Just tell him the beers, leave him be, because obviously most people in Mumbai haven't experienced Brewdog, but he was like, look, he knows Brewdog, that's it, let it be at that stage. So I had tasters of the beers. I actually had Punk IPA. It was decent. It wasn't quite as I remember Punk IPA, but then again, I don't think I've had Punk IPA since they changed the recipe. I do like more of the higher ABV ones. I did have their Weiss beer, which is very rare for Brewdog. They don't really do Weiss beers that much, or wheat beer, I should say. And that was decent. It was quite nice to have at that stage. Just pick up. Sorry, I was chatting about Brewdog there. So 5 minutes from the Brewdog in Sutton, from the Morrisons in Sutton. Mark, you live closer to me than potentially I thought at that stage. But there we go. Yes, we need to sort something out about some of the pubs as well. I know we need to go St Albans, but there's nothing to say we couldn't meet somewhere as well in between. That would be good to meet you, mate. I know I didn't make the one in not Bermondsey. Why am I saying Bermondsey? Stop before Canary Wharf is Canada Waters. I didn't make Canada Water, the beer festival there. Just clash of stuff at that stage. It would have been great to go there. It would have been great to see you. I know there's other people, but I wasn't really interested in that. It's just been good to have a few drinks with you at that stage. Ah, that's interesting. So I could go to the Sutton one. I know I'm not in Sutton, and they might have it there. I've always found, like, the Sutton Morrisons, you've got to hunt the beer, because they have the beer aisle, then they have some beers on display at the end, and then they have their sort of not seasonal aisle, but like special aisle, and you go down there and they've got a different selection of beers again. Not always different, but they do certainly change it about a bit, and you're like, oh, hang on a minute. Oh yeah. Honestly, we need to sort out just meeting up at that stage, because we're in and out of the same pubs in that area, especially, and it'll be great to just chill and have a drink with you. Whether that is in a, I'm not going to say Brewdog, but just in a casual pub, or in a let's go try something different pub, that'd be great for me. The collaborations vary. So I was originally, I am a member in a sense of Brewdog. I signed up to whatever it is, for shares at that stage, mainly for the discount in the pubs, because it worked out in the end for me. But yeah, the beers, it varies. Even the collaborations are hit and miss at times. I think obviously the best period is the period I've just missed, when they launched their, the actual pubs have teamed up with certain breweries and produced beers. That's the best time of Brewdog. There's such a massive selection of beers that they've got a bit of free reign on, and I really love that. And I'm a bit upset I missed that, but life is life. You miss that at times, don't you? Unfortunately, the pain pills. Oh, pain pill. I thought you meant Pilsner called Pain. What are you hearing about your liver for? The missus is there for the transplant. That's what mine's there for. No, I fully understand. But, Toby, honestly, any time that I'm obviously back in the UK at that stage, but when you're feeling good, let me know. I should be there Jan, Feb, March, and I'm literally available any time. So I would say just ping me on Untapped, and I can sort out meeting you if you're feeling good. And I say if you're okay, can you come yours or meet nearby? I'm not fussed. It's up to you and how you're feeling. Just let me know, man. But if you're not able to taste beer that well, then I guess we've got to go higher ABV, because that's the only way to get the flavour through. That's the only way. No, yeah, Mark, just reading through what I've said anyway, so it'd be great to see you. Norfolk beer. Norfolk. Well, immediately, I'm not a fan of Wolf. I'm not a fan of Green King. Now, why I'm not a fan of Green King could be down to bias, because they're bloody everywhere, and they own a load of pubs, even in London, and they just, it's awful kept quality beer. Their ale was never that good, and I would love to try their 5X, but yeah, even their heritage beers, I've always give Green King a try. I always do, and I always feel disappointed afterwards. I do like Woodfords. I mean, Woodfords do a good range, anyways, in my eyes. The Wary is not great on bottle, but on cask it's amazing. And is it Skull Cracker? Head Cracker? Head Cracker. That's a good beer. That's good beer as well. Trying to think. So if I go out to Ipswich is Norfolk. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Norfolk. I haven't had many in Norfolk, honestly. Because Beers Europe are based in Norfolk. I've seen all the beers that they do, and yeah, I mean, I've looked at a lot of the breweries, and I've had some of the beers over time, and I've not been fully impressed. What's that one that mainly do lagers? And they were actually in Lidl as well. Who are they called? C. I think it's C. Yeah, and actually, I think they're on Real Ale Craft Beers channel. I can't remember. He done a live with them, and then they done the collaboration brew as well. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, they mainly do lagers. They're decent. I like them, and obviously, appearing in Lidl was positive and negative for me, because it means probably they're being pushed on price point, so a bit annoying. Ipswich is Suffolk, yeah, there we go. It's just a bit more that way, yeah, not up towards the north in Cromer and in King's Lynn and that. Yeah. Equity for Punks, yeah. I got the fanzine thing from them, and I had to push them for that, because they weren't bloody sending it out to begin with. They were waiting for something, and it really pissed me off with Brewdog. I got a fanzine, and I did carry on for a bit, and then I cancelled it because it was a bit crap. But I think fanzine was better than what they've got now. They've done the 6 beers for free, and then you sign up and have a subscription. Of course, I got the free one, as everyone did. But no, I doubt anyone stayed with the subscription. There's some will, but 2 of the same beer, so you're getting 3 beers, and one of them seems to be a beer that's sold in the supermarkets, or they're selling in the supermarkets. Turn around and go, well, I've overpaid for that direct. And the other 2 are just like trials, and if it does well, they might sell it to the supermarket. It's a bit like, you're just a test dummy and they're making you pay for it. I'd rather just not do that. I'd rather just wait for it to come to me at that stage. Oh, no. Do you know what, though, Toby? Have you actually tried other beer than your favourite brewery? Maybe you've had enough of them. Maybe you've had enough of your favourite brewery. I'm not naming names at this stage, because I'm not getting taken down. But yes, maybe. With a genuine YouTube star. Who's that with then? It's clearly not me. I'm not a YouTube star. I'd say that would be Real Ale Craft Beer. You know, he's got a big enough following. I would also turn around and say maybe Scott and Wonder. They've got a big enough following. Oh, you could go with Blue Van Man. That's a big enough following. That's a genuine YouTube star right there. Yeah, I like Woodford's because I would say they haven't just stuck with how it is. A bit like I'd say Adnams haven't just stuck where it is. Adnams have collaborated with breweries from the US and in the UK. They understand that things change. They're not just staying where they are in their happy zone, which a lot of breweries do. They just go, right, that's what we're doing. That's what we're producing. It's nice to see them, you know, play about, try new things. And Adams were, I think, in the UK, definitely leading in the whole idea of alcohol-free ale. They definitely on top of that straight away. And but just take your next point, like Ghost Ship on tap everywhere up here. That's sort of a point where you turn around and go, that's everywhere. You know, you go into a pub, it's everywhere. If it's a decent drop and you trust the place, you know, it's a fallback. But otherwise, you see it everywhere. You're not going to jump for it. That's one of the things with the regional breweries. It's everywhere. Therefore, when you walk into a pub, it's not something you go for. A bit like Brewdog. They're not everywhere in London, but they are everywhere now a bit more than when they were probably 4 years ago. They do appear in a lot more pubs. They've signed deals with Green King, who own a load of pubs, plus some of the other pub companies. They're not in, obviously, Young's and Fuller's, and they're not in, I think, Marston's, but Marston's don't have many in London. They're not signed a deal with McMullen's, who actually are buying up a lot more property in London. People realise. The funniest one was they bought the land and building that the Wetherspoons were based in next to Trafalgar Square. And the idea was that obviously Wetherspoons had a lease, but they knew that that lease was never going to get renewed. So 3 years to the end of the lease. Lease ended in 2020 at the end of. McMullen's took it over and turned it into McMullen's. They are a family brewer, but they're playing it very carefully. They are spending their money buying up London centre pubs, tourist-based and office-based. I know it sounds weird, but offices are going back, but they're buying in prime locations where the property has value, but they own the freehold. They're not paying rent like Wetherspoons are. And the funny thing is, Wetherspoons are paying rent to them, knowing that they have to leave. Now, it doesn't mean people are going to flock to McMullen's, because people flock to Wetherspoons because of loyalty and pricing and that, but it's a prime location. That's why they bought it. It's not about the whole idea it's an old Wetherspoons. They're not trying to get Wetherspoons customers. It's a prime location. I was saying, like Mark, Adnams do a good variety of beer. They really do. I feel like this Beck's is taking me an hour to drink, and I'm looking at the time going, I'm not going to stay beyond 2 hours. Adnams have totally changed how they've done beers. I remember actually, they were actually quick to adapt. Back in about 2009, 2010, they came out with their sort of craft aim or range. And it was producing those sort of rye beers in a can or all the rest, but obviously it wasn't in can to begin with. They were on keg. But I went to many places that they managed to get it into, and it done really, really well with that. Toby, sabbatical? What the hell's a sabbatical? No, I am. I am. So, I'll keep it a bit private, but so I am out here. I had the first week and a half off because it was Diwali, and I am working 3-day weeks at the moment because I originally was supposed to have the whole of November off because I didn't take leave last year. And my would work agreement, I carried it forward to this year. I was supposed to come India in April, but that got delayed due to COVID again with the second rise, and India not permitting people to enter. And then I moved it to November. So I was supposed to take the whole November off, but with agreement would work, with me disappearing for a month, it wasn't really that helpful or handy, especially because some of the projects I'm working on. So I sort of reached an agreement that I would come out to India and I would work 3 days a week. So apart from the first week that I fully had off, I've just worked a 3-day week this week. I'm working 3 days next week, 3-day week after, and all the way through until I think the first week of Jan, and then I need to fly back in a sense. But my visa's only valid till the 18th. But otherwise, I'll be working full weeks in a sense here. But I am working UK hours, which is a bit of annoyance, and it's worse because obviously working part time isn't great. In the sense of I'm working 3 days a week, but I come in and I'm doing so much more work than I should be because people are expecting me to do things when I'm only working, what's that? Say I take it as 8 hours a day. I'm only working 24-hour weeks, but people expect me to do things that, and it's like I'm expected to still do a near 40-hour week when I'm only on 24. But there we go. How's food there? Oh, well. You've been out Kerala. Kerala is more coconut based, a more milder curry at this stage, but doesn't mean you don't get that here as well. I wouldn't say the curries are spicy. The one thing I would say is I'm going to have butter chicken today, first time since arriving here. I'm looking forward to it because butter chicken in the UK sucks. It's terrible. It's not butter chicken. They either chuck a lump of butter in or they just do it completely wrong. I'm really looking forward to actually having butter chicken. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, the food's amazing. There's a place around the corner I'm going to try and record some shorts from. He's family-based guy that runs a sandwich stall, and yeah, street food. I know people say don't do street food, but I know the places I'm going to. Mrs. eats there, and I've been there previously, so I'm going to try and record some of the places I've been to for just the variety of foods. So there's sandwich, and I like the more snack bites. Curries are good. The Mrs. family is Goan, so there's quite a lot of fish curry, which isn't quite what people would expect. But yeah, I'm looking to do like a Voda Pow, Keema Pow sort of things at Juhu Beach, but really good out there. Yeah, I'm working from abroad, but I'm working UK hours. That's the only thing. But thankfully, it's only 3 days a week. If it was 5 days a week, I won't be able to do it. But 3 days a week, I can. So I'm expected to work UK hours, which means yesterday I had a 5 p.m. UK finish. I lie. I had a 4:30 p.m. UK finish, which was talking even more like I finished 5:30 yesterday, which is 11 o'clock at night finish here, which is absolute nonsense at that stage. So I end up having my lunch break in the UK just as the sun is setting, and it's actually dinner for me. So bit of annoyance, but put up with it for 3 days, and then I get to enjoy a long weekend. So I've got a 4-day weekend, not back at work till Wednesday. The following week, I won't have a 2-day weekend, then I'll work 3 days. I'm going to try and take a 6-day weekend. So Thursday, Friday off, Monday, Tuesday, long weekend. And I'm going to try and see if we can head to another state at that stage in Mumbai. In India. I'm in Mumbai. So I'm going to be terrible. I can't pronounce it probably. We're in Maharashtra. And I'm looking maybe to go a bit further north. Not all the way up to Kashmir or anything that's disputed, but further north, not to a dry state, and go up there. Steve, hello, how are you? I did click on your video earlier that interested me, and then I heard you say gaming. I was like, but you're doing a 24-hour stream next Saturday. But if you're letting people join in and alcohol related, as long as you're not going to do any stunts on camera, I could certainly keep you company during the more lonely hours that are out of hours for a lot of people. Sorry, doorbell. I was just like, someone's getting the door. Yes, they did. Mainly because, obviously, it's India hours. I can, if I join at midday, for you it's going to be 6:30 in the morning. I can certainly try and keep you company early in the morning for a few hours. I think next weekend's just a short weekend. I'm only taking 2 days, and then I said I'll try and make a 6-day weekend the one after. Oh yeah. But yeah, work. Yeah, rather not talk about that. It's on my mind anyway, so I logged in this morning to sort some stuff out. Just some server reset stuff and the rest. No stunts, mate. Oh, I said I watched your I pre-recorded. I watched your live. I didn't watch that far. I did see though that stuff happened. The servants will get. Hang on. Whoa, not that sort of household. Not that sort of household. There's no servants here. I'm not that. Bloody hell. I'm not that well off. These is a family at that stage. I don't know what you're getting at. It's more a case of the mother-in-law opened the door to let my missus in, and the sister-in-law. I think they're calling me. I heard the word Lee, which is what they tend to call me most of the time. I hear the audio slightly picking up from them talking about ground. Right, anyways, I'm nearing 2 hours, so I'm going to cut this off because I know there's food waiting, which includes butter chicken, which I've just literally told Toby about, and I'm like, butter chicken, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm also looking forward to, let's see actually what they've got. I've had like plenty of, I love black dal, anyways, but there's cream chucked in that, of course, who doesn't love that? Romali rotis, paneer, I'm a massive fan of paneer. Cottage cheese is the easiest substitute to put it into UK, but better than that. And the paneer in the UK is nowhere near as fresh as you get it here. You get it fresh from the, I want to call it creamery or dairy, just down the road, the guy that sells milk, and you have it and you're like, amazing. Oh, Pete, no worries. It was good to have you on here. And honestly, it's I'm open to anything about anything at that stage. So it sounded wrong. I mean, like, I may do Pinter videos, but it doesn't mean I'm a Pinter fanboy in that sense. I know there's many failings with, well, customer service, the product, and the fact that I hope they're not going down the route of a new one every year sort of thing, like an Apple thing, and I hope not. But I see a benefit for me in the sense of if I buy it, at least I can use it for other purposes. But yeah, that's fine. Right, I'm going to smash that curry, as Toby has said, and everyone take care. And I'll see if I can do another live. I can't guarantee anything about that, but there will be some videos coming out over the next few days. There's no more UK Brew Project. They're all out, but and don't worry, Steve. It's early doors. It's for early people. I mean, for me, it's 9:10 nearly. It's 9:05. Don't know why I said 10 past. Clock's a bit fast there. But yeah, I will be posting some videos over the next few days that I recorded just this week gone, and then I will try and do some stuff from some of the tap rooms in the area, and then hopefully I will get some stuff from the long weekend. There may be some food stuff coming up. I know that's not quite what you're interested in, but it is a bit of travel and brews, and that's a bit of a travel related, and that's what the missus likes to do, food. And I might try and record like a nighttime drive in India, especially along the Sea Link, which is, I would say, their best road here. It's obviously a toll road that you pay to skip going through town, and you drive out across the sea and back in again. And that's the only road I know where you can actually get proper speed without traffic. Oh, amazing road. Good road. Although obviously bloody speed bumps right at the end, as every Indian road has at the moment, as far as I'm concerned. There's just too many speed bumps on all roads here. Right, everyone, take care. And that is, 2 up to 8% beers and 1 up to 5% beer, plus a terrible 0% alcohol ginger beer that I'm not a fan of. And I shall see you hopefully soon, and I will pre-publish if I'm able to make it. Take care, everyone.